to support Senator Cotton, and I know that the objection's been raised, but I want people to know how important I think this issue is. So today we were considering, hopefully unanimous consent, to pass a scheduled fentanyl substance bill. Proactively scheduling fentanyl-related substances ought to be a big priority because too many Americans' lives have been lost to reject this critical measure. Some wrongly assert that controlling fentanyl analogues is partisan and unnecessary. That's simply untrue. Legislation to schedule fentanyl analogues is a bipartisan issue. Just last year, this body passed a bipartisan 15-month extension of the bill unanimously. Also, such authority is necessary. The CDC estimates that fentanyl analogues killed 50,000 Americans in the last 12 months. We must prevent overdose deaths. Prevention is possible when we use our laws to force China to stop the flow of fentanyl analogues. Opponents of permanent scheduling assert that the authority is broad and could result in too many arrests. But since the Drug Enforcement Administration placed fentanyl analogues in Schedule I, the Justice Department has convicted only 80 people under that authority. So too many people being arrested as an argument against permanent extension is hogwash. This authority hasn't resulted in vast and wide prosecutions. Rather, this authority is targeted and deliberate, and of course that's the way it should be. So if controlling fentanyl analogues is in fact bipartisan and necessary, why isn't supporting legislation then a no-brainer? Perhaps because of heightened partisanship. Democrats can't vote for legislation that helps law enforcement, or maybe they can't be seen as supporting any drug control law, even if it could save thousands of lives. This position goes against the unfortunate truth that 50,000 Americans have died from these deadly fentanyl analogues. Politics has no place above human life. As frustrated as I am by this, it's not my nature to throw in the towel. I'll always work hard to find middle ground. That's why I'm asking every senator to support Senator Cotton's permanent extension, or at a minimum, my bill, the Temporary Extension of Fentanyl Scheduling Act. This bipartisan measure extends the authority to schedule fentanyl analogues for 14 months. It keeps fentanyl analogues in Schedule I until July 2022, which is long enough for the administration to come to a permanent scheduling solution and allow for a deliberate and transparent dialogue with Congress. So, simply put, we need to give ourselves enough time to find a solution to this major problem causing 50,000 lives to be lost every year. As history shows us, lengthy fentanyl scheduling legislation is not controversial. I'm simply asking for a similar bipartisan approach now. My bill is the only bipartisan temporary extension bill on the table. I'm grateful for Senator Hassan and Shaheen for teaming up with me and Senator Cornyn. We can't limit ourselves in the fight against fentanyl. It's with this in mind that I urge all my colleagues to support either a permanent extension or my bipartisan bill, and to extend the authority to schedule fentanyl analogues for 14 months. I yield the floor.